do.
What? Every time! Okay.
Oh yeah, this is I was like,
this time it's not me. It's yeah.
Okay. The poet looked back. Kanoe only called out on impulse. Now he didn't know what to say. Will I see you again? Are you going somewhere else? It was strange.
I'm like totally forgetting that I have to click. I'm like trying to get myself back into that.
It's on auto-click, no. Not on auto-click, no. Okay. Now I wanted to meet him once more, and couldn't keep from worrying. The poet regarded him in silence. Kanoe looked down, thinking of all the things he wanted to say.
Yeah. It was a dot, so I had to like...
Yep.
How awkward do you think that was?
I was just like,
I imagine like him as like the high school crush is going on, like, see ya. Just like runs on.
His sentence didn't continue. It was entirely transmitted. His tail drooped.
See? He's like so sad. He's gonna like run away.
Oh.
He's like, no, wait.
But the poet smiled at Kanoe.
See?
Oh! He nodded faintly.
And he's gonna run.
Kanoe's ears perked as he watched the poet. The poet turned his back and left without a sound. Should he take the nod as an affirmation? They hadn't exactly exchanged words. In fact, nothing had been said at all, and still, Kanoe was certain. We'll meet again, Kanoe thought.
We'll meet again! I was gonna make another. I was gonna make a reference.
Oh
I won't do
gosh.
that.
When he looked up at the sky, the thick clouds had cleared, and the moon's shadow floated there, shining clearly.
Sorry, I didn't want to do it like halfway you were talking. So okay, there you go.
Kanoe sighed and started walking home. In the depths of his chest, traces of sadness and pain still ached.
God,
He is so lonely.
This just doesn't get happy. He's been like attacked by 2 snake thingies. Tokino's gone. The poet's not really giving him the time of day. I mean, he did like a little smiley thingy, but
He's so lonely right now.
oh no, we're gonna get a 3rd snake. Ah, crap.
Feelings of sadness and pain. Were those parts of love and affection too? His mother and father must have felt that way. Before he was born, such feelings must have overflown in Sisa. What kind of world was that exactly? One day, he'd known. So Kanoe thought. Trying to figure out what love is. After 2 evenings, the nightmare returned a 3rd time.
Okay, wait. So we've met the green snake, the yellow snake. Now there's the red and the blue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Maybe.
Or not.
Oh god, did it break? Or did I just have to click? I just had to click.
Just had to click. Kanoe was in the mysterious place again tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be the red one, the little snail thing. Yeah. I think it's gonna be that one.
He heard music in the distance and drifted as if floating in water. It was the same dream. Suddenly, an intense pain ran through his left ear. It hurt enough to make Kanoe grimace. He was startled when he reached up to touch it. No, it's gone! No! It was gone.
Wait, the pain was gone or his ear was gone?
His ear was gone. His ear disappeared. He touched only thin air. This couldn't be happening. He groped his hair fretfully, trying to find it.
Maybe my ear just moved! Hold on, I'll be able to find it!
Gosh. This time, his left eye ached and his blood went cold.
Oh, is this supposed to simulate the sickness or whatever, with the organs disappearing?
Yeah, I think so. Kanoe was unable to touch his left eye. Instead, he felt a gaping cavity in his face. He was sure he'd disappeared, just like his ear and his eye. Was this the sickness? He caught the sickness. Wait a moment. It was a dream. He should have thought about it a while ago. Now he tried to settle down, but his ears and eyes ached. It was so painful that he had to question whether this was a dream or reality. Then the pain surged through his left arm, and then his left foot. He was frozen in fear, could only stare. He couldn't find strength. It was like all he could feel were fever and pain. Were these symptoms of the sickness? Was he doomed to die this way? If he was dreaming, then he'd wake up. Then he'd wake up when he died. Gosh. Terrible dream. Kanoe saw his tail out of the corner of his eye. It crumbled before his eyes like a pastry until half of it was gone. Kanoe described with endless despair and fear. Suddenly, a strong light enveloped him. Going to be the
blue one! What?
This time it was neither green nor yellow. The light was deep blue. Something coiled around his right ankle.
Please don't grope. That was just... oh god, so uncomfortable last time.
The slimy body crawled up, its scales glittering darkly. The snake coiled over his neck and whispered to him. Oh, do you want to switch back?
Yeah, I got better feelings about the blue one. I'm hoping blue is gonna be okay, but watch it be like so much worse. Do you feel it?
It didn't constrict him, but Kanoe was gripped with feelings of sadness. Aww.
Bad, but not creepy.
Even though he didn't want to cry, the tears came anyway. Crying snake.
Feel it? Overflowing from my scales, my tongue, my eyes, my heartbeat, my existence. Do you feel it?
The blue snake questioned him, but Kanoe was in no state to answer. Suddenly, Kanoe's eyes felt hot, and tears streamed down his cheeks. They overflowed and did not stop. He felt something wet on his left cheek. Tears must have been flowing from the darkness of his eye socket.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, because like, he doesn't have left eye anymore, so how does... Okay. Answer me. What am I to you? What do you feel? Answer me.
Blue snake is so angry.
I don't know if it's supposed to be like a really sad snake, but I'm just kind of like, you know what? Blue seems like a really pissed off snake. I don't know.
So angry. It's like, answer me.
Answer me.
Stop crying. As he wept, Kanoe remembered the green and yellow snakes. He could not be freed from this heavy sorrow unless he thought of an answer. An answer slowly came to his mind somehow.
What? Whoa, no. Freezing cold wasn't what's going on, right?
Yeah, it's sorrowful impulse. Yeah. And when Kanoe thought of his answer, the blue snake stopped moving. Sad feelings poured out of his heart. The tears stopped. Kanoe tried to shake off the snake while he suppressed his sobs. However, the snake drew its face close to his left cheek and coiled around his neck. Its red tongue flickered and extended to the cavity where his eye should have been.
Stop. Oh, I guess he's got like a tail still.
The pain that had been masked by the sad feelings revived. The left side of Kanoe's body screamed. The snake's tongue touched at the depths of Kanoe's eye socket. Kanoe felt a sharp pain.
Stop!
He groaned through gritted teeth. The snake slithered over the left side of Kanoe's body, as if pitying the parts he had lost, comforting him.
Yes, he's a really angry snake.
He's so angry. But even if the touches were meant to be kind, Kanoe could only feel pain, feeling like his nerves were laid bare.
Should I do pissed or pitied?
Whatever.
I guess I'm gonna change it to pity. Does it hurt? Your heart and body are screaming. Everything aches with pain.
Stop touching me already.
For a second, like, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, what? I'm like nowhere near you. I was like, oh, the snake.
Yes, the snake.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. The touch touch of the scales glided over his skin was enough to drive him insane. On crystal blue floor, Kanoe laid back and writhed. But no matter how much he moved, the snake never parted from him. I need to wake up already.
Butts.
Butts! Great. The snake climbed up his right cheek. Wait! Wait a second, I totally thought of the wrong thing.
I was like, oh god, is this like an optical illusion? I see left, you see right, like...
His left cheek and tried to enter his eye socket.
So why did we get a picture of his
I
butt?
know, right?
Like, when he said left cheek, I was like, left butt cheek? Because, like, that's the left
I
butt
know,
cheek, so...
that's the butt cheek.
And it was like, it tried to enter, I was like, whoa, wait a second. Okay, anyways. Oh, wait.
Now that it moves back up.
I just had to get his butt really quickly. Stop! Yeah, can we wake up right about now? Great!
Shots. Noe jolted awake, his thoughts a disorganized mess. It had been 3 days and 3 nights. His body was stiff with fear, and he lacked the strength or willpower to get up. Fearfully, Kanoe raised his right hand to touch the left side of his face, and felt a warm, rounded surface against his palm. They were there. Eye, ear, arm, foot. He let out a deep sigh.
That was gonna go a lot worse. I mean, it was still creepy, but
Yep. Noe unconsciously let out another long sigh. When he closed his eyes, he heard the sound of his heartbeat, its pulse still startlingly fast. Dreams of green, yellow, and blue snakes, all in succession. It was strange to have the same dream over and over. Something was going on. Something bad. Kanoe sighed once more. Consecutive dreams, bad omens, and the normal onset rate of the sickness. The uneasiness he felt now began to feel justified. Kanoe felt distressed. Ready to go, start running.
Oh. Like, I was like, in my head, I thought, like, shit, what the hell's gonna go on? And, like, when I read that, I was like, oh, okay. Shit.
Kanoe spat and scratched at the floor. Great scratching.
Can't hear it, though. It's like...
Every night he felt the snakes crawling over his skin, and the feeling was so unpleasant he just wanted to tear his skin away.
Yeah.
His worry turned into an unbearable anger, and Kanoe spent another restless night.
Don't worry, dude. Only 4 lights, 4 snakes. After tomorrow night, you should be able to get some sleep. I really hope so, dude, because your life sucks. The least you can have is, like, a good night's sleep.
The next morning, Kanoe awoke with a strong thirst and hot flashes. Aww. He touched his ear, hot. He seemed to be running a fever. He felt heavy, and even moving his ears felt difficult. His mouth felt parched. He wanted to drink some water, so he crawled out of bed.
Woo!
He was trying. The world seemed to shake. Kanoe leaned against the wall for support. The barrel of water was just a couple of yards away, but suddenly it felt so far.
Well, he doesn't really have to get up, so can't he just, like, roll over?
Just roll across his floor. No good.
Just, like, roll.
Kanoe Transformers. Kanoe decided to move again, only after he rested himself for a little more, and returned to bed, winding his tail around his body. Breathing harshly, Kanoe looked up out of the window. The sky was dark, and rain drizzled down. He considered jumping out into the rain to cool his body and quench his thirst.
Nope, trust me, if you actually got a fever, don't do that.
But then Kanoe felt that it would only make his symptoms worse in the long run. He closed his eyes instead. Only the sound of rain echoed in the darkness as he closed his eyes. He hated humidity, especially when it clung to his fur, but he didn't mind rainy days. When it rained, the entire world was drenched. From the branched-out trees to the flowers, everything got wet during times like these. Void, the starvation, the weird dreams about snakes, they all seemed like occurrences of a distant world. Time alone gave him comfort. The blazing heat in his body seemed to subside when he calmly assimilated into the rainy world. Kanoe opened his eyelids slightly. His thirst had reached its limits, and he considered getting up as soon up soon to get a drink of water. He heard a modest knock at the door. Don't open it. No, no. Wait, snakes can't. Well, I guess they could knock if they really wanted to.
You know what? Snakes are like groping him in his sleep. Okay, I think we can say that they can walk.
They can knock and
I think
stuff.
It's safe to say that they might be able to
knock some doors. Knock, knock. Okay. Noe just stared at the door in silence, watching his surroundings. I don't know who this is.
Noe? Are you there?
Is it Tokino? Behind the door.
Oh shit, sorry.
I don't know. We don't know who it is, so
okay.
Behind the door, he heard a familiar voice. He slowly raised his body from the bed. Oh, it is. Okay. It's me, Tokino.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
The door opens quietly. What's Tokino doing here? Tokino peeked inside. As soon as he got a look at Kanoe, his eyes went wide.
Dude, his door's not locked? Well, Snake can, like, totally get in!
Well, no, because before, remember, he had the traps?
Okay.
Maybe they don't have locking systems.
Okay.
Eh? Kanoe, what's wrong? Look like you're dead. Stop dying.
Wish I was! I should ask you the same. What are you doing here?
I had to tend to a little business nearby, so I figured I'd drop by. But what's... You have a fever? No, I'll huggle you. Tokino hurried inside. He set a wet basket down on the floor and ran up to Kanoe's side. Kanoe felt a cold hand on his ear. Oh man, you're burning up. What happened to you? How did it get this bad?
It was fun yesterday.
You just woke up like this?
I'm not gonna say it. Yeah.
Did you eat something bad? Like, that's right, Tokino hurriedly rummaged through his basket. I'm sure I had some grass here for fever.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was still him! I'd like to get some water for...
Now he struggled to speak clearly. His words were slurred.
Shoot. I don't like to... It's so hard.
But your barrel's over there. It's right there.
Oh, you kissed his face! Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're thirsty? Here. Kanoe picked up a wooden tube that he had tied to the basket, removed the lid, and held it out to Kanoe. No. Kanoe took it and drank it. He meant to return it, but before he knew it, he had emptied the whole thing.
Shit, sorry.
So thirsty. You calm down.
Sounds like Tokino. He's so thirsty.
He's so thirsty. Oh, gosh. Though it was lukewarm, the water quenched his thirst just the same. Noe wiped his lips with the back of his hand and gave Tokino an apologetic look.
What if you can't get the water that's over?
I know, right? Tokino was just like,
room.
"Oh, here, have my water." I didn't even think that you had your own water.
Like,
Tokino laughed as he took the empty vessel, smiling to show that he didn't mind at all.
yeah, because he can just go over there and get some more water.
Just steal some of your water.
I'm sorry. You can draw some water from the barrel over there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Don't worry about it. You do the same for me. Now take your medicine and rest a bit. Tokino gently pushed Kanoe's chest back and made him lay back in bed. Tokino searched his basket again, this time pulling out some slender blah 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 blah.
That's the new medicine now.
Here, this is slightly bitter, but bear with it. It really works. Eat it in one shot and get to sleep. Kanoe bit some of the grass that Tokino handed him. Bitter. At least doesn't have to suck any frogs. Sorry, I had to make that reference. The bitter flavors spread through his mouth and Kanoe's eyebrows furrowed. Tokino shook his head earnestly.
Yeah, frozen frogs probably would have been better.
You better eat it.
Whoa, wait, what? What?
You better eat it. That's what his expression said.
No, it's like, man, I hope you get better. Not like, you better eat it.
You better eat it, son. He reluctantly tossed the grass into his mouth, trying not to chew it too much before he swallowed it. Good. Well done. Tokino nodded happily.
I'm not a kid. Water. I'm not a kid, but I'm gonna whine about how I need water.
I need more water!
Okay.
Give me water! The bitterness made Kanoe grimace and numbed his lips, so he covered them with his hand. Tokino drew some water into his flask and handed it to Kanoe, who drank it up quickly. When Kanoe finished drinking, Tokino sighed and furrowed his eyebrows. I always thought something like this would happen one day.
What?
I always thought it would be dangerous somehow for you to be alone.
That's why you need to live together.
Today you were lucky because I stopped by, but if this happens again, you could end up dying or something. Tokino's face went from joking to serious.
That's not gonna happen.
I wonder if that's true.
Die someday. And based on the amount of snakes that in the stuff, it might be sooner rather than later.
Oh gosh.
Don't worry, I'll do something before it gets that bad. I won't just die over something so trivial.
I see, that's right. I don't believe you. Tokino nodded with relief and stood up. Can I make some light? It's so dark in here. Vampire.
Sure.
Vampire cat. Tokino approached the shelf where Kanoe kept a dish of water and placed a guiding leaf in it. The room was illuminated by a soft light. Tokino sat down beside Kanoe again. Kanoe slowly exhaled. He noticed that he felt relieved too. He had gotten used to Tokino and was sure that he felt so relieved because Tokino was there with him. Kanoe thought of it as an unexpectedly good thing.
Are you sure there's like different routes? Because I feel like it's only gonna go here. Like that's the only way it's going.
Tokino doesn't even have a route though. That's the thing.
But it's like bluntly obvious that like, you know what? Yeah.
He doesn't have a route. Unless it's like some super secret route that I've never heard about before. Which, in that case, I would be kind of sad. But no. Rain fell softly. Rain fell softly. Softly.
Flopsy!
Oh gosh. Tokino stared calmly out the window. Don't you think that things have been weird lately? Tokino mumbled. Yeah, I got rope. I got
got to hear about
snakes,
weird.
Got snakes and yeah.
Let me tell you about my snakes.
He had spoken all of a sudden.
What?
Here's things. I saw in Ransom that the onset of the sickness had been beginning to increase. The same for Karo and the neighboring villages. Ransom was in the same situation. The sick cat who entered his home yesterday now came to his mind. At the same time he thought about the dream he had last night, remembered his empty eye socket. He firmly squeezed his eyes shut and shook it off. And then you collapsed. I don't really want to say it, but I have a really bad suspicions about all of this. Like something terrible might happen. Tokino looked at Kanoe. The round pupils of his worried eyes reflected a small bit of light. It was true, weird things were happening. Now Kanoe knew he wasn't the only one who had a bad feeling about it all. Really, everyone probably felt this way.
I'm pretty sure not everyone's being groped by snakes though. You say that's like a unique thing to you? Dear God, I really hope so.
Everyone's being groped by snakes in the night. Something bad was going to happen.
Oh yeah, open up about yourself. I had a dream.
A dream?
A snake appears. I continuously. I had it continuously for the past 3 nights.
Reoccurring dreams about snakes.
Are you just gonna, like, not mention the part where, like, basically, like, tries to murder you? Yeah. The content will be so not gonna mention it. Yeah, the content of the dream is the same too. The only thing that's different is the color of the snake. But each time, they ask me the same questions. Answer me. What am I to you? What do you feel?
Had a dream like that 3 days in a row? Sounds ominous. Tokino's face was hesitant. While Kanoe spoke, the thought of those dreams came back, and he shook his tail in irritation.
Thanks to those dreams, I've been getting practically 0 sleep. Maybe that's why I'm getting sick. It's generally what happens.
I see. If possible, Kanoe had thought about not sleeping tonight. He might have had that dream again. In these dreams, the pain felt too real. He was afraid of going to sleep.
Terrible feeling. Those dreams are exhausting.
Kanoe muttered. Tokino waved his tail, ears lowering. Kanoe, what a face. You must be in pain. I have brought some QMs. You should try to eat some and cheer up.
Yeah.
Take the QMs. Love them. Tokino stretched his hand towards Kanoe and covered his eyes, wrapping him in a warm, gentle darkness. Tonight, I wish you good dreams.
Nah, dude. It's gonna be the red snake now. Sorry.
The soft voice sounded in the darkness. Kanoe let out a sigh of relief.
Man, don't tell me we're gonna get like 2 snakes, like, in one video.
The hand covering his eyes pulled away, and he could see Tokino there, smiling as if he was a bit embarrassed. Whenever I had a bad dream, my mother would do that. A charm.
I see. Good lord. This dude is like super short sentences.
I'm sorry. Noe's curt answer seemed to startle Tokino, and his ears turned down. He seemed to have forgotten what Kanoe's parents were. Oh,
that explains that short sentence. Yeah.
He seemed to have forgotten that Kanoe's parents were gone.
Yeah, shit. Sorry. I don't really mind. Him.
Tokino was still apologetic, but Kanoe really didn't mind it.
How about your schedule? Are you still on time?
Tokino only happened to drop in occasionally because of business. He nodded reluctantly. Yeah, I should head out soon. Will you be okay?
No. Okay, please. What?
Well, it's just that I'm worried about you.
Yes, you have to stay. Stay. Shut up. I'm alright. I'm not a kid. But I need some more water.
Okay. Tokino nodded and gave him a nuzzle. It was an affectionate gesture, and they both purred softly.
This is so curious. This is like, oh god. Ugh. And cats don't do this unless they really like each other. Unless you're my cats, then in like 2.5 seconds you're gonna slap one another.
Oh my gosh.
They're really cute because they'll like go against each other's face and I'm like, oh my god, you guys are so cute. Whack!
Oh.
That was nice.
Oh.
Glad I got a picture of that before you guys hit each other. And then the dogs are like, you know what? No.
Tokino pulled something from the basket and set it down near Kanoe, then slung his basket over his back and stood up. Here. Medicinal herbs and QMs. These are for you, so please eat them both.
I understand.
Then I think I should go. Don't overwork yourself. Rest up. And I'm sure you'll get better.
No, I'll stay. Yeah. Oh!
Tokino smiled and left Kanoe's home with a swish of his tail. Don't leave. When Tokino's presence disappeared into the sound of the rain, silence returned to the room where Kanoe now sat alone. Kanoe tossed about and averted his eyes from the door towards the wall. For some reason, he didn't like staring at the door after someone left. He shook his tail, because he's lonely.
Yeah, seriously.
He shook his tail and made a rustling noise. With the medicinal herb work, all too soon, his excited breathing calmed again. I almost said Tokyo. I want him back. Kanoe stretched out and covered himself with his bed sheets, pulling them over his head. When he thought of the dream, he hesitated to sleep. Would another colored snake come to him in his dreams? Would it ask him those questions again? When he thought about it, it no longer felt like a coincidence. There had to be some meaning behind it. That was the only way it made sense. Wrapped up in the warmth of his sheets, he felt his eyelids gradually grow heavy. If he slept, Kanoe might have that dream again. It would be great if Tokino's charm worked. If it did, Kanoe would have to thank him the next time they met. His thoughts stayed on Kanoe's mind as he fell asleep. Aww.
Fudge!
The fourth night. Dream came after all. Kanoe drifted in the mysterious space. That was a really short day. Just saying. Music echoed in the distance. It didn't take long for him to realize it was a dream. This time, it was dangerous. He struggled to wake up, but his body wouldn't listen to him. He couldn't even move the tip of his tail. It was like he'd become an object, not himself. Before long, the pulsing sound started. This was bad. Kanoe desperately wanted to escape. Light blocked his view, as if ridiculing him. Fourth light. It was a vivid red, choking light, like bloodbath. A wet touch coiled itself around his ankle. It was a serpent, probably a red serpent. It was impossible to break loose. The snake slithered up his body just like the other three. The snake whispered into his ear. Probably the snake or the red snake. Okay. Do you feel it? It gradually tightened around his neck. When the red scales touched Kanoe's skin, they burned like a branding iron. Oh, that's terrible. Kanoe furrowed his eyebrows and trembled. Skin on his neck burned and festered. Even if he tried to grab and pull it free, his palm sizzled and singed. Fire snake, dang. Do you feel it? Flowing from my scales, my tongue, my eyes, my heartbeat, my existence. Do you feel it?
That's too happy of a voice.
Well, he's happy.
Creepy
He likes burning people.
Okay.
He's a fire snake.
Ugh.
What was he supposed to feel? It was so hot that Kanoe thought he preferred just to be strangled to death. It was hot. So hot he heard the sound of flesh burning and the sound of his fur sizzling off his skin. Answer, what am I to you? What do you feel? Kanoe scratched at the snake's body, but his fingertips only smoldered. The scales he scraped off scattered and fell to the ground. Answer. Kanoe needed to answer. An answer. What if these answers are super important to the game and we've totally been messing them up?
Is it really is it really that important right now?
I have no idea. Either anger or it's stifling. Stifling, I guess.
I really hope this is important to the game.
Oh my gosh. As soon as Kanoe thought of his answer, the red snake loosened.
Shit, wait, maybe it was a difference. Like, because he let up.
Well, I mean, the other ones did eventually too, I think.
I don't know, I'm still creeped out over the yellow snake.
The yellow snake.
And I kind of, I ignored the green snake because that was just creepy. And then the yellow snake was just wrong. But then the blue one was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
He'd be burned. Noe buckled down in a semi-transparent floor, convulsing. It was painful. It was probably the most painful of all the dreams so far. When he touched the festering wound on his throat, a sharp pain ran through him.
See, Tokino should be like coming back right about now.
Charm didn't work! Kanoe's tongue stuck out as he wheezed. At his side, he heard a sound like rising steam. His view, full of pain and heat, was colored red. It was the snake. The snake flickered its tongue as if spitting out flames. It's a dragon! It's actually a dragon. Oh, he's speaking even more. Okay. Is it painful? Is it hot? That resentment, that anger, they are the source of everything. They became my sustenance.
Oh, so did like all these things represent a specific feeling?
I think so. Wait, what was the first one then?
I don't know. What was the yellow one then?
The yellow one is lust.
Oh, okay.
And then the blue one was sadness, and this one is anger.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The first one didn't seem like happiness or anything.
No. Oh, keep going.
I don't know. I guess it was happiness. It was green. Oh. The snake glided on the floor to approach him. Even if he wanted to escape, Noe's body felt like it was on fire, and he couldn't move. It would be over soon.
Oh, probably not then.
Wait a second, what if whatever we choose, like, because the choices have either been we feel the emotion or we just feel it, like, hurting us. So what if whatever we choose, like, the emotion, that means Kanoe will have that emotion more often?
Oh, man! Shit, we did lust, so...
No, we didn't, because with lust, we just said it was molesting us. We didn't say, like, we felt, like, the pleasure surgery or whatever. I don't know, that was just a thought. But anyways, if it was like the other dreams, it would be over soon. Kanoe closed his eyes and waited for it to end.
Guess what? Cliffhanger! Ugh.
So yeah.
Ew.
That was probably the last dream.
Yeah, I really hope so, because I'm like tired of snakes and groping and
It was only the yellow snake that groped.
All of them are like wrapping around her neck. I'm gonna
okay.
throw that into the groping thing, but we're not meeting anyone. We're just like getting attacked by snakes. But Tokino came back, so hopefully the next video will be better.
Yeah.
But let's go to sleep, guys. See ya.
Bye-bye. Don't get coiled around by snakes.
Yeah, please no. Please avoid that as much as possible, okay, guys?